Why Gen Z can't find love anymore.
According to the
That's interesting, because it's kind of about you guys. About you guys being single and lonely and just watching streamers all day, man. That sounds fun. Getting called out here, chat. Let's take a quick look. Let me just put this maybe like...
Pew Research Center, 56% of millennials are not getting married.
Europe,
But that already is not a bad thing. Getting married is just a really old thing to do. You don't need to get married anymore. Only for taxes, really. Or if you're really believing in all this Christian bullshit. But generally, it's only for tax reasons, man. Why would anyone still get married? That's not a bad thing.
US, East Asia, and Latin America.
So people getting married is going down, but I don't see it as so bad. I even feel like this is part of a modern capitalist world. That why would you pay $10,000 for a big wedding? No one has that money anymore.
Across the world, fewer and fewer Gen Z men and women.
Are you married? Hell yeah, man.
Are forming relationships. This is a really big deal for the global economy because given that you need 2 people at least to make a baby, Gen Z's love crisis is causing birth rates to...
We have a birth rate drop. Again, I feel like this is a bit fear-mongering because obviously we had the big boomer generation after a war and then it went down, which is just a big part of modern countries. With modern countries comes modern women. They want to work. They don't just want to put out 5 children. And once again, liberal bitch cunt Tommy is going to say it. A big issue of this is capitalism, the current form of capitalism. No one has money for kids. Girls want to go to uni. They want to study. And then when they're done studying, they have debt in America. They have to get a job, man. Oh, wait, if I have a kid, I only get 6 weeks leave in the US, 1 year in Germany, and then I don't get paid anymore. Can we even afford this? I have so many bills. Can we afford this? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Nobody, I mean, if people had more money in their pockets, they would probably have more cum shots going on, right?
Limit even faster than they were due to couples having fewer and fewer children already. So, what's behind this global trend? Why can't Gen Z find love anymore? This is one of the big questions sociologists, psychologists, and economists have been writing dozens and dozens of research papers about. But don't worry, we went through all of them and have selected the 3 main trends that can explain why Gen Z
he went through papers. Ken Noodle already is going insane right
now. Before diving into these, we need to step back and see where this trend started actually a couple of generations ago by diving into a brief history of marriage and staying single. These were...
In the Middle East, we have a lot of children. I think this is not even weird, right? What I'm gonna show you is not even weird. This is actually known, right, by own scientists. The higher the average education of a folk, of a country, and here we have birth rate. Obviously, TommyK graphs, right? It's kind of normal, right? It is kind of normal. This is why the uneducated and educated countries have much more children, right? Because they need them to work and stuff like that. But if you live like in Germany and everybody is educated, the women are popping like, what, 1.1 children or 0.9 or some shit? I forgot. It's kind of normal. And obviously, as a society, you have to ask yourself, what do you do about this, right? And I would think, what I see all the time, if you are a government, if you are the AfD in Germany and you want Germans to fuck more, you fucking make an incentive, right? It's for people to fuck. Like a tax break. Oh, you made a child? You get a tax break or something. Something to make people fuck again, but there's nothing. What is the big incentive? Now I'm gonna sound right-wing for a second. What is the greatest incentive to fuck in Germany? To be poor. I was poor, me and my mom were poor, right? When you have a child, you get like, I think 427 euros or some shit from the state. And then for every children more. So the poorer you are, the more the children money that the government gives you is gonna hit hard, right? That's why the uneducated and lower classes have more children. But then we create this equilibrium between educated children are not so often, uneducated children are everywhere. Thank you, Bad Gamer Tag, thank you.
My grandparents, for them, a marriage was about far more than love. For them, it signified adulthood, respectability, and, importantly, it just made economic sense. You see, in those days, running a household was really hard work. So if men wanted to work full-time, they needed to find a wife.
Back when times are good, right? You came home, mom had the food ready, dad would get drunk and slap you around a bit. It was good times, man, good times.
Meanwhile, few women had access to paid work. So if they wanted financial stability, they needed to find a husband. Remaining single carried stigma, especially for women, who were often referred to in derogatory terms like spinster or old maid. The stigma was even worse for unmarried pregnant women. Add to this that contraception was limited, and you'll see that on top of the economic reasons, marriage was also the only safe way to have an active sex life. A rapidly improving economy changed this dynamic in two ways. First, inventions like the dishwasher, vacuum cleaner, and especially the washing machine made housework far less demanding.
Yeah, very true, yeah.
Second, increased household wealth and government services.
But giving money to people for kids will have tons of parents make a bunch of kids for more state child support, like what happened 15 years ago, because a bunch of kids not properly raised or cared for, and over didn't I just say that? Didn't I? Thank you, Captain Foe. Thank you.
Middle-class families increased access to services previously only available to the ultra-wealthy, like a cleaning help, babysitter, and daycare. On top of that, the invention of contraception and the liberalization of abortion meant that marriage was now no longer the only safe way to have an active sex life. Therefore, marriage or even coupling without...
So, a big downfall of birth rates isn't that the world is getting worse and stuff, it also has to do with technology. Something I actually forgot a second ago about. The growth of technology obviously helped a lot.
Became a choice.
And especially, I've been reading this book about capitalism and its growth and stuff. Back in the day, you needed 8 kids, right? You needed them as workers. Kids will die a lot. If you only had 1 kid and it died, fuck, you have no kids. You need 7 kids so they can help you farming and shit like that, right?
Rather than a necessity. This could explain why soon after, marriage rates started falling relentlessly in the United States. But importantly, a lot of that was initially compensated for by the fact that more and more people became couples without marrying. Even without the economic necessity and strong social...
Let's also not forget another interesting argument that I believe in this. Marriage has become a massive business, right? If you get married, chat, you will understand. It's so expensive. Oh, you want to have a big marriage in a big restaurant and invite everyone? Huh? Say goodbye to $10,000, bro. Fucking hell, that shit's expensive. Oh, that's a nice dress. It's only 5,000 euros. Your husband wants this suit? 2,000 euros. You will only wear it once in your whole life. Wow, what a shit investment, man. Luckily, me and Lisa, we were like, who gives a shit, man? I'm going there in sweatpants. I'm not going to give them any money.
People still wanted a stable relationship. This makes sense.
The ring, right? The ring is so expensive.
A long, stable relationship tend to be happier and healthier. And yet, despite...
People in long relationships are happier. Chat, you hear that?
That a new trend soon emerged. All across the world, young people are now not just getting married less, they are also struggling to find love in general.
That's even more interesting, right?
This trend is hard to justify by pointing at washing machines and condoms. So if we want to answer our question why Gen Z can't find love anymore, we need to turn to 3 more recent explanations. That is, after you let this married millennial man vent about his expensive family trip due to ridiculous roaming charges and how such mistakes can be banished thanks to our video sponsor, Saley. It's not Euro, my friend. Yes, I brought more. With this match, we need means that both men and women tend to prefer a partner with roughly the same educational and social economic background. Therefore,
true, right? Very true. You don't really often date outside your class or like your cultural vibe. I guess like.
Researchers often split the marriage market into one for college-educated and one for non-college educated workers. Today, there are 2 trends that are upending the love life of both college and non-college educated young men and women. When it comes to college, this graph shows...
Slightly more men than women used to go to university. Now far more women go than men. Yeah, women are doing really well now in education because it opened up to them. Yeah, everywhere across the world. Women totally overtaking men in university.
That while there used to be more college educated...
These fucking bitches. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Make America great again.
Flipped in countries ranging from the UK...
I'm a dumb retard, but I'm dating a doctor female. That's very concerning, because I saw you in chat the other day, Sudaman, and you are genuinely a goddamn moron. Like, legit.
Korea to Spain, there are now far more college-educated women than men. According to the theory of assortative mating...
Well, bitches in uni? For me personally, university was the best dating pool. It was so easy, man. It was genuinely like a fucking grocery store. Because I understood very early, when I went to university, I looked at all the boys. And all the boys were like metrosexuals with expensive glasses. And like, I study law. And I was like, what if I represent a manly, Hugh Jackman, Tom Hardy kind of guy in law school? And I swear to God, think I'm lying all you want. It worked, man. These girls will date university students. And the guys are like, my dad owns a golf course. And then I will come like, hi. I'm the strong, silent type. I like to work out. I also play Dota 2 10 hours a day, but I will not tell you that. And it worked, man. It fucking worked. It worked. Made up story. That's how I met your mom. You cuckold. Thank you, this horn. How you doing?
Fewer college-educated men compared to women will lead to fewer couples. However, if we look at marriage rates for college-educated women in the US, we can see that, surprisingly, it's rather stable. It's actually non-college educated women that increasingly remain single. But why?
I would think... Sure, you would easily say they're pickier, which maybe is a part of it. But one thing I felt when I looked at Lisa's girlfriends and talked to them in the last decade is that if this is something I felt when I'm very open, right? I always talk about everything. So when I was with Lisa's girlfriends, I would literally ask them, how is Tinder? What is it like? Etc. High standards? Maybe one thing, but not all of it. I think when men like you and Chad always go, their standards are too high, they're all bitches. No. I know women, Lisa's girlfriends, and I talked to them about this, and they showed it to me on their phones. They log into Tinder, and 90% of guys are just creepers. Just fucking creepy. Here's my dick. Check out my dick, bitch. Or like for 3 days, they're like normal. Hi, nice to meet you. Let's have a coffee. By the way, here's a dick picture of me. You want to suck it? It's just fucking weirdos and shit, man. And then on the other side, the 10% that is not psychotic, they're kind of ugly. They're kind of ugly, man, you know? So it's not so easy, man, yeah. But dude, talk to any women you know in real life and ask them about online dating. They will always have stories about creepy weirdos, super rapey guys, man.
According to a recent study by economists Clara Chambers, Benjamin Goldman, and Joseph Winkelmann, the most likely explanation is that college-educated women are increasingly willing to marry down, where marrying down purely refers to...
It's very good news for you guys.
marrying down the educational ladder. When diving deeper, we see that what actually happens is that college-educated women are actually marrying the most successful non-college educated men.
That makes so much sense. College women marry the most successful non-college educated men. Makes total sense if you hear that, right? That makes total sense.
Those that have increased their earnings over time.
That's you, Tommy. The fuck? Actually true. That's actually true. I'm part of that. It's true. Actually true. You're correct. We will fit in that statistic. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm above college-educated men. I'm like fucking godlike top 0.1% streamer. Best FIFA streamer on earth, right? It's like its own category.
Economically speaking, they are not really marrying down. Meanwhile, the non-college educated men that are not snatched up by college-educated women are earning less and less. This brings us to our second trend that can explain why Gen Z men and women without a college education cannot find love anymore.
Too busy finding a job in capitalism.
Trend is that while women have increasingly joined the labor force, men have increasingly dropped out of the labor force altogether. But as you can see here, it's not just any men, it's mostly men that have no college education, especially those that have not.
And what's the reason? What's the reason? Low-level jobs are given away. America is a great example of that. America moved a lot of manufacturing to Asia, right? Bangladesh, China, etc.
Are the ones that are now.
It's once again capitalism hurting these kind of men, and then they vote for AFD and Trump and shit, which is such a.
But
so ironic.
The case. Economics professors Nguy and Petrungle have theorized that the reason is that our economies switched from manufacturing-based to service-based economies. The increased appearance of service and care jobs has benefited women without a college degree, while the disappearance of manufacturing jobs has negatively affected men.
I'm not saying we need communism. I never said that.
How can this explain why non-college educated women can't find a partner anymore? Well, for that we have to go back to our theory of assortative mating, where we will see that when an increasing number of non-college educated men withdraw from the labor market altogether, they essentially form a new group. A group that is not attractive to non-college educated women who are less willing to marry down, as they seek at least some economic stability in a long-term partnership.
And honestly, I don't like this notion of she's a gold digger, she only marries if I have money. It kind of makes sense if you think about biological. It went like this for billions of years, right? A female always looks at the best male, right? If you're a male that goes, ha ha, ha ha. Oh, that's a sexy guy. But if you're like, right? She's not gonna mate with you. It's kind of a bit, it's a little bit genetics, man. It's just how the world works. They look for a partner that can take care of their child. It's like almost the most normal thing ever, if you think about it.
This theory could fully explain that it's actually non-college educated men and women that are driving the downward trend in marriages, at least in the United States. That is, while we do not have such detailed information for all countries, new research from Finland does actually show that in 2024, far more women and men without basic education are not in a relationship. The more highly educated men and women are, the more likely they are to be in a stable relationship. The core takeaway from this is clear. When boys struggle in school, have trouble finding work and fail to transition to a care-focused economy, then this means that both less educated men and women are more likely to stay single. This could explain why, on average, Gen Z can't find love anymore. But the recent Chinese experience shows us that it's probably not the whole story. You see, while it became more and more difficult to find low-skilled manufacturing jobs in the United States and elsewhere, this sector thrived in China. Yet, while marriage rates went up along with manufacturing employment at first, they have recently also started dropping for China's Gen Z, hitting their lowest point in 2024. This brings us...
I met Lisa on Tinder. I was legit Lisa's first ever Tinder match. Swear to fucking God. Lisa has a 100% win rate on Tinder. I was her first match, but not her first date. After that, she mated. She mated? She did not. She what's that shit? Matched with another guy, but he wasn't good enough. He had no chance against me.
To our second explanation, which is housing affordability.
Yeah, that's just the thing, man. You guys always call me a lip-tart, man, but you can't deny this, man. Late game capitalism is just making everything unaffordable. People are unhappy, can't afford shit. So you don't have time to make a family, a happy life. I have 3 children. No one can even fucking pay their bills anymore. I was watching an index of how much of average salary of a German is used for a pension, for your apartment, well, rent. It used to be 17% a couple of decades ago. Now it's up to university students are the most fucked group with 50%. 50%, man.
Our first clue
the index is going up. How much rent you have to pay from your average income?
70% of Chinese women consider home ownership necessary before marrying. In that light, it's not surprising that a team of University of Singapore economists has recently estimated that a 1% increase in Chinese house prices led to an average fall of marriage rates.
They find a correlation of increased housing prices correlated to an average fall in marriage rates, or you could probably even say relationship rates. Fucking interesting, right? Super interesting.
Of 0.31%. This could explain why, while manufacturing jobs continue to increase, marriage rates already started rapidly falling in 2013 when China's house prices surged to never before seen levels.
Yeah, I like this stuff. I'm going to check them
Similar
out more
studies
often.
have also found a negative effect of increased house prices on marriage rates in Spain and Korea. However, these effects were typically quite small. And on top of that, couple formation is also declining in rural China and rural parts of the United States, where housing remains relatively affordable. So while Gen Z is
I haven't seen Soho 3 yet, no.
suffering from
Later.
expensive
Right now we play Australia.
Housing alone is probably just a small
99%
piece
of stats
the
and correlations
puzzle,
are super
which
wrong.
brings us to the
Great
third
comment.
explanation.
Set it up. Give me a source. Say something educated. This guy showed a scientific study. You're just a retard on Twitch chat. Do something about it. Show me something. Don't just yap like a loser.
Ruining yours too.
Don't be a loser. And buy the hoodie, guys. Look at the golden stitching. This is golden thread imported from Mars, man. Dude, 5 people died making this hoodie. VikingsApparel.net for the greatest hoodie for the cold season.
Put the phone down.
The rise of smartphones,
Don't do it, chat.
social and addictive.
Social media. I'm coming to the conclusion social media is a bane to the world.
John, hello.
Thank you, Kadurana. Thank you, man.
The first generation
Social
to go
media
through
is
high
destroying the
school
human
and
race, man.
university with a smartphone in their pockets and new forms of social media. Increased use of digital media is leading to less love for Gen Z in 2 main ways.
It's easier to get dopamine now, right? You can just watch porn. You can just look at women online.
The first worry
I think also a big issue, we see this with young people, is Young girls, they look at these Instagram influencers and, oh, this is how I should dress, this is how I should look like, this is the makeup I should wear, this is how good boys look like. But then boys are the same, right? Boys look at Andrew Tate. Wait, all women are bitches? Yeah, take my cum shot in your face. They look at this shit and think it's real, right?
Is that research
Which is why, once again, I really believe what the world needs, what Europe needs, North America, we need to start educating our young people in media competence. There should be a class in school. Media competence. What are sources? What are you seeing there? Is it real? Is it a fact check? What is going on online? And how does it correlate to real life, right? Everyone in the chat who ever fucked somebody knows real life fucking isn't like Johnny Sins fucking Angela White. Mostly. For me it is. I fuck like that. But for most of you...
John Burton Murdoch has revealed that Gen Z is spending many more hours alone at a young age than the generation that came before it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Older, they
have the whole internet, right? But they're feeling so alone.
More hours
crazy
alone. This is true for all generations. However, strikingly, Gen Z, which is the red line, now spends way more hours alone at a young age. This pattern holds in the US, UK, and in Europe. The second worrying trend that comes from John Burton Murdoch's research is that Gen Z's personality seems to be changing much more rapidly than that of older generations. This pattern holds for 4 of...
Young adults' personalities are changing, with conscience falling. I don't know this word, chat. Explain that to me. Actually, I don't know these words. Conscientiousness. Consciousness. Consciousness?
Hello.
Consciousness.
Social
Thank you, Toast.
media ban when?
Consciousness means, what is that? I don't understand. What does that mean? Consciousness. Being aware. Like, they're less aware of things now? Yeah, but they have the internet. How are they less aware? I don't understand that. I don't understand that so much. Neuroticism, like being neurotic. That makes sense, man, because you see on the internet what you should be, but you're not. Agreeableness, okay. And the less extroverted. Extroversion has gone down. Super interesting, weird stuff, huh? Gewissenhaftigkeit.
Main personality traits that psychologists like to use: consciousness, neuroticism, agreeableness, and extroversion. First, this red line shows that since 2016, Gen Z is quickly becoming less conscientious than generations before it. Now, conscientiousness is a psychological trait related to self-discipline, reliability, and follow-through. Lower conscientiousness makes it harder to signal stability and commitment. A massive drawback in both.
I was in a forest today. Literally in the middle of a forest, and there was so much plastic. It was unbelievable. I picked it up. Fucking a fish. When you open the fish, right? Full of fucking shit, man. What the fuck? It was so crazy, dude.
Relationships. Second, neuroticism reflects emotional stability and how strongly we react to stress.
They basically just have brain rot.
Emotions.
But the point is, it's not their fucking fault, man. What are they supposed to do, right? The world is putting it on them. How was mushroom picking? I hate it. I hate the mushrooms. What was fun with my kid? There was a moment today I loved. So I had my kid in a backpack, and Lisa and the dad, they go for mushrooms. I'm like, I don't want to go into the forest. So me and my kid were alone in the forest. I swear to God, utterly alone in the forest. And we're meeting Lisa and the dad somewhere else. And I'm alone with my kid. And he's like cuddling me, and I'm like, you want to sing? He's like, yes. And bro, I swear to God, I'm walking through a forest with my kid, and I'm like, es ist schon dunkel, als ich durch Vorstadtstraßen heimwärts ging. And my kid goes, dee 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 dee. And I'm just walking through the forest, and I'm screaming, singing. And this kind of is related to this video, right? I have a family and a son, and I'm so happy. I'm the happiest person ever. And I really believe this, man. It's what you need in life. You need a partner, you need a family, you need good friends, you need someone that genuinely loves you, man, and you will be the happiest person ever, man. I'm very lucky, I'm ultra happy, and I think a lot of issues on this world, like radicalization, joining Donald Trump, joining AFD, joining Antifa, is a lot of young men just feeling very lonely, not feeling heard, not feeling connected to the world. So they're like, yeah, Donald Trump will save me, yeah, Antifa will save me, any extreme is gonna save me. If we could make young males happier again, we would have much less fucking issues on this world. I really believe that.
Gen Z is more neurotic than previous generations, and since 2017, increasingly so. Higher neuroticism means greater anxiety, mood swings, and sensitivity to rejection. Not exactly helpful when dating already feels risky. Third, agreeableness measures.
I'm lonely, but I stay away from charlatans. Then why are you watching me? Buy the hoodie, guys.
Lower agreeableness can make people seem more competitive, critical, or self-focused, which, when taken too far, undermines trust and warmth in many new relationships. Again, Gen Z is less agreeable and it's gotten
Lasagne. Oh, yeah,
worse
lasagne. Nice.
since 2016. Finally, extroversion covers sociability, assertiveness, and
Do you think this
energy
hoodie
in
is sexy?
social settings.
Would you date
Less
a guy that wears a
extroversion
hoodie like this?
translates in less initiative in
Enough
approaching
said.
others, which can of course be detrimental for meeting new partners. As we can see here, Gen Z started out roughly as extroverted as other generations, but this has rapidly gone down since the pandemic. Could it be that the
pandemic must
rise
have really
of
hurt.
social media, smartphones, and increasingly addictive digital media are simply causing Gen Z men and women to spend more time alone? Then, as they spend more time alone, glued to screens, they
Huge issue, man. And how do you fix
simply
it,
don't
right?
meet suitable
Government's not
partners
going to do
and
shit. As you know me, I always like to add a little bit of conspiracy theory into my stream. I honestly have a theory that this is what capitalism wants. This is what the rich want. They want us to be brainwashed. They want us to be dumb. They want us to fuck each other so we are not a threat to them. The rich want to build their own world like Peter Thiel is doing right now with JD Vance in America, building an oligarchic heaven. And they want the rest of the people just to be morons, idiots that don't think twice. So this entire thing, social media and the Gen Z just going completely brainwashed, it's just totally helping them.
or to unlearn crucial social skills needed to form lasting relationships. We do have good evidence that couples are meeting less and less in person, and while it's true that a growing share of couples are meeting online, young people are now increasingly abandoning these dating apps in frustration. Another interesting piece of evidence to support the theory that social media is playing a role is that we are seeing that
You know what I will do if I was... I always like to fictionally think I'm the leader of Germany. I would like... This sounds a bit like Hitler-esque. I would bring like back youth clubs or something. Like in school, there's more clubs publicly funded, man. Where people meet after school and play basketball or play board games or I don't know what the fuck, man. I will build these youth clubs. They will be called the Tommy Youth. The Tommy Youth, yeah. Something like that.
in places where women's internet use remains very low, such as much of South Asia, marriage rates have stayed
Like lately, I go to a fight club a lot and have so many social contacts now. I talk to people there, I discuss with them.
high
Such a
and
beautiful
relatively
thing.
stable. Still, despite this evidence, this scientific debate about the impact of social media on mental health remains far from settled. Correlation does not equal causation, and it's hard to measure these effects in the laboratory. Although
I'd like to do now a part where he says what we could do about it.
rates of anxiety, depression, loneliness, and personality changes in the United States coincide with the spread of smartphones.
I'm going to be very harsh on this. I love my son so much, I'm going to be very harsh on him. And it's a bit my job. I really believe it's my job. It's very dumb as a parent to be, my kid is on his phone all the time. Oh, I can't stop him. No, it's my job. I'm the dad. Put your phone away, son. We're going out. We're playing football. We're going to the fight club. We're going to do something, man. You and me. It's the parents' fucking responsibility, man.
Also COVID lockdowns, by the way. Much more evidence is needed to clarify the mechanism.
It's my job to take care of my kid so he doesn't become a zombie retard like that.
The extent to which these patterns are a global rather...
Yesterday, Lisa was on a playground and she told me there was a dad and the kid was 3 years old, maybe 4, and she had a breakdown and she was very hyperactive. And the dad said, if you don't stop this, tonight, no phone, no tablet, no TV. And right, it's like, bruh, Alter, she's 4. Maybe that's the reason she's hyperactive, buddy.
Country-specific phenomena. Therefore, in conclusion, look, I have to be honest here. Social sciences like economics, psychology, and sociology do not give us a definitive answer about why Gen Z can't find love anymore. But what we do have is that we have seen some striking patterns. First, after remaining single was no longer a social taboo and economic nightmare, we can see that marriage rates started to drop. At first, this was compensated.
What age would you give your kid a phone? We'll see about that. One thing we've seen with friends is they gave their kid a grandma phone. You know what grandma phones are? Big phones, you can only write SMS, you can only call, but no apps and stuff. That's something interesting. One thing, I'm gonna straight up sound like an asshole there, whether you like it or not. There's, in my city, like a private school. The private school, it's not even that expensive, 250 euros a month. It's not like thousands. And in that private school, no phones allowed, stuff like that. We will be harsh on this. Don't you risk your kid getting bullied? My kid will know how to beat someone up, don't worry about that. But it's my responsibility, man, and I'm gonna be, Lisa especially, we're gonna be very careful with this stuff.
For by cohabitation without marriage. But then as men started falling behind in the education system, House prices got higher and higher.
And I think a big part, I honestly believe that it helped me in my life, is to get my kid into a club. Sports club. Maybe he wants to play an instrument. I don't know what he wants, but he has to do something where he leaves and he meets people in real life, where he talks to people, interacts with them, figures out what a debate is, figures out what a conflict is, right? Go out and interact with somebody.
Smartphones and
I will force that very much upon him. He can choose what he wants to do.
It got worse and worse for Gen Z than it ever was for the generations that came before them. Each of these explanations have likely contributed, but personally I think that the most evidence is there for the theory that less educated men and women are driving this trend.
Kids should have 2 hours of screen time a day. I'm even against that. Too much.
And more men dropping out of the labor market altogether. The trend that Gen Z can't find love anymore should worry governments all around the world. Not just because...
Doesn't do it. They don't do anything about it. Look at German government for the last 10 years. Any German chat, name something the government did for families and birth rates in the last 10 years. Fucking tell me one thing. I'm genuinely interested. Maybe I don't know. I'm interested.
It makes people
what
less
are
happy,
they doing?
But also because less couples means less babies, which will contribute to the demographic.
One of the most insane things ever. Lisa isn't educated about this. When Lisa made a kid, she has by law 1 year freedom. For 1 year, she gets 66% of her last paycheck and can take care of her kid 1 year. The average off time for a mother in the richest country in the world, United States of America, is 6 fucking weeks. This fucking third world country. Another great fact how the USA is a fucking joke, man. The women have to go back to work so fucking fast there. It's unbelievable.
That we are already seeing. Luckily, our research suggests that there are at least 3 solutions.
Oh, here we go.
First, governments should make sure less boys drop out of the education system.
But what are they always cutting? What's always getting cut? Education system. Who's cutting it the most in America right now? Donald Trump.
And they should make sure houses remain affordable. And third,
who's fucking that up? The capitalists, CDU, AfD, etc., etc.
As schools and parents in more and more countries are increasingly...
Who's pushing affordable housing? Is it the left? How the fuck you know? You tell me, huh? Hey!
It makes sense to experiment with limiting smartphone and social media use.
That's happening now across the world, right? That's happening a bit. I mean, full agree, right? Full agree.
Schools, while at the same time encouraging face-to-face.
There's no UK in today's game.
But yeah, that's my take.
Hey, role-playing games are so dead. Great video, man. That was really good.
She slipped through my fingers like sand. Heard that she had a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, shit sail. She slipped through my fingers like sand.